Okay, so to review for our test tomorrow, and just so you guys know at the other sites, they will have your test at those sites before the end of the day. So tomorrow, if you want to come in early and start, you can. I don't believe anything opens before 8 o'clock. Same here in Rice Lake. If you want to come in early and start, I should be here by 8 or 8:15, usually at the latest, if you wanted to start your test early. I have allowed from 8 until 10 is the time for our test. Or, sorry, not 8 till 10. From 9 until 10:45 is the time for our test. So if you want to come in early to have a little extra time, that's fine. From 10:45 to about 10:50, 10:55, we'll take a break. Then I do have a 50-minute or 45-minute lecture to put in there to end the class, to start Unit 2. So just be aware that there will be a lecture after the test tomorrow. Which I know most of your brain cells will probably be on vacation by that point, but we have to try. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to test you at some point. Okay, now, when I do this review, I try to make sure I don't give you the same problems or even problems that are the exact form with different numbers. I try to give you problems that contain the same concept so that if you can do these problems, you can do the problems on the test, but so that you don't just memorize a form. Oh, on this problem I do this, this, and this, and I just got to change the numbers. So you might have something like 56 divided by 11 minus 12 divided by 2 squared. Order of operations problem. So here, what would I do first? In the parentheses, and in the parentheses I have to do the 2 squared, which is 4. Now what? 12 divided by 4, which is 3. Very good. So that's minus 3 now. And then 11 minus 3 is 8. Notice that it's down to a single number, so I can take the parentheses out. There was already a division sign in front of the parentheses, so I don't need to put in multiplication. 56 divided by 8 is 7. Perfect. I could have also just typed this in the calculator just as it appears here. 56 divided by parentheses 11 minus 12 divided by 2 squared close parentheses. Spits out the 7. Okay, so next example. How about this one? What do I do first? Negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12. So I have negative 5 plus a negative 12, which is negative 17. Good. That one probably isn't so bad to enter into your calculator. What do I have to do first here? The parentheses. In the parentheses, what do I have to do first? 27 divided by 9, which is 3. Very good. What's next? The 6 minus 3 to finish off our parentheses. That is 3. Now I'm going to take out the parentheses because it's down to a single number. I have to put in that multiplication first in front of it right here. Now a lot of people here are tempted to do 3 divided by 3 is 1. Why can't I do that? Perfect. Left to right. We got 5 times 3 comes first. Multiplication and division happen at the same time. So we got to go left to right. 5 times 3 is 15. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Now, I'll be honest with you here. In this case, if you had done 13 divided by 3 and then multiplied by the 5, you would get the same answer. But this is one of those rare cases where it works out the same way that normally it would not work out the same way. You would have to make sure you do the multiplication. You go left to right with the multiplication before the division here. Any questions? Now this next one is one that does not work out well if you just try to punch it in the calculator. The best way to do this one on the calculator would be to punch it in as 2 separate problems. Now here, that is a multiplication and not an X, just so you know. Nope. The command you would have been given for these first 4 examples would be the command that says calculate. Yes, that's 2 times -1. So in a problem like this, you would want to do everything on top first. On top, what do you need to do first? Multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. So you have a negative 21 minus 15, which is a negative 36. That's negative 21 plus a negative 15. So negative 21, negative 15, they both go the same direction. So 21 and 15 makes 36. And they're on the negative side of 0. You look confused. You look confused. You also could have just punched this into the calculator. Negative 21 minus 5 times 3 would give you the negative 36 as well. Then we do the bottom. On bottom, we're going to do 42 divided by negative 7 first, which is negative 6, minus 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So what we have here is negative 6 minus negative 8 becomes negative 6 plus a positive 8. So negative 6 and positive 8 does make a positive 2. Negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18. So again, you could punch this all into your calculator and get the 2, and then you'd have to remember to divide the negative 36 by 2 to get your answer. Any questions? So again, for problems like that, the command would be calculate, and they're just asking you to find order of operations. Simplify. If it says simplify, does that mean we're going to be able to get it down to a single number? No. Calculate, evaluate, and solve mean you can get it to a single number. Simplify means usually combine what you can combine, but that's about as far as you're going to go. You're not going to get all the way down to a single number. So we might have 5x plus 8y minus 2x plus 13y. So simplifying here, what can I combine? The x's, 5x and negative 2x make 3x. Then I can combine 8y and 13y make 21y. Would this be correct the way I have it written? I need not a minus, but a plus. It's a positive 21, so I have to have a plus there. Any questions on that one? Yes. This one?
So when I was working it out on the bottom, the 2 times -4.
Yep.
I did -2 times -4.
Okay, and then so you've still got -6 here, right? But -2 times -4 would be a positive 8. So you'd have got this right here. Yep. So you're getting to the same result, just you're combining 2 steps, which actually is easier to do. If you do a -2 times -4, you just have to remember this negative is already used and it's a plus a positive 8. Yep, yeah, that will always work. Just make sure you don't use that negative twice. If you treat that as a -2, then it's always, now it's addition instead of subtraction. Okay, so here, what would I do? I see parentheses. Can I do anything in the parentheses? No. To the parentheses. Yes. -5 times 7x. So -35x. -5 times -2. Positive 10. Negative times negative is a positive. Are we done? No, we've got positive 10 and -31 can be combined. So the -35x does not change. But we've got positive 10 and -31 makes -21. Any questions there? Okay. What would we do here? See the parentheses, which should draw us in. Anything to do in the parentheses? No, okay. To the parentheses. Yeah, times a -3. So the 5y is going to just still be there. -3 times 4y is -12y. Good. -3 times -6. Positive 18. Then we have the +9 on the end yet. Now what? Yeah, 5y and -12y make -7y. 18 and 9 make +27. Negative 6x times 3x will give me what? Not negative 18x, but negative 18x squared. Perfect. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, but when we multiply, we also combine the names. X times x is x squared. So 7y times negative 5y would be negative 35 y squared again. Y times y is y squared. So negative 4z times a negative 9z is going to be, was it negative 36? No, it's positive 36. Good. Good. Negative 4 times negative 9 is a positive 36. And then z squared. Great. So again, those are all simplify. You're not going to get down to a single number. You might get down to a number and symbol like this, number and variable, but you won't get a single number answer. The key is knowing when to stop, knowing that you have to stop here. You can't combine any further, or here. Okay, another thing you'll be asked to do is evaluate. Does evaluate mean you're going to get down to a single numerical answer? Yes, it does. So you might have something like x squared minus 11x minus 3 for x equals negative 5. Tell me where to start. Well, I have first put the negative 5 in for x, right? So x squared becomes negative 5 squared. And yes, I must have the parentheses there. Minus 11, x is negative 5 again, so times negative 5 minus 3. Now here, those parentheses don't mean I have to do anything first. They're just separating my negatives. So again, at this point, you could punch it in the calculator. If you did it exactly as it appears here, it would work out just fine. Negative 5 squared is 25. Now, I could either do this as negative 11 times negative 5 or 11 times negative 5. If I'm going to do it as negative 11 times negative 5, I have to do this. I have to change this to plus a negative 11. So that it's now plus here. Negative 11 times negative 5 is a positive 55. And now it's all addition and subtraction, so go left to right. 25 plus 55 is 80. Minus 3 is 77. Again, if you punch in your calculator just like this, it should spit out 77. There will be other order of operations problems and evaluate problems like this, similar to the ones we did earlier today. So instead of having one variable, there will be 3 or 4 variables, and you have to plug in the different values. We will have things like this. And we're given the command to solve. When we're given the command to solve, will we get a single number for an answer? Yes, we will. Solve means we're trying to get the variable by itself. So we have to take the equation apart. What do we do here to take this one apart? The negative 7 is multiplying the y. So to get rid of it, we divide by negative 7. So negative 7's gone. Y equals, what is 84 divided by negative 7? Negative 12. Good. How about on this problem, what would we do to solve? What's been done to x to build this equation? They've subtracted 8. So to solve it, we're going to add 8. So I have to add 8 to the other side of the equal sign as well. What's negative 5 plus 8? 3. Remember, when you look at this, always find the equal sign. And it's the side that has the variable on it that tells us what to do. What's keeping the variable from being by itself is the 8. The 8 is subtracted, so we solve by adding 8. If I asked you to write this out in numbers and symbols, what would you do? Well, the 4 less than something is, careful. 4 less than something means the 4 has been subtracted from it. 5x or 5n minus the 4. That 4 less than means that the 4 is what's being subtracted. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yep.
And I put like 5x minus 4, but it told me I had to do 4 minus 5x for it.
I would have to see the exact problem, but it might be 4 decreased by 5 times a number. Four less than something means you're taking 4 away from something. 4 decreased by, I should put the word by in there, means it's the 4 that you're subtracting it from. So very subtle difference in those two. Okay. You bet. Or you might have twice the sum of a number and 6. Twice means what? Times 2. 2 times something. But it's not 2 times the number, it's 2 times the sum, which implies that we have already done what operation? Added something. So we've got to put this in parentheses. So the sum of a number and 6 is x plus 6 or 6 plus x. That one does not matter the order when you add. Any questions? Okay, the last part, the part that most people hate me for. Well, let's face it, there's a lot of reasons for you to hate me before the semester's over. There are going to be word problems. These are the part that a lot of people dread. But I always say life is a word problem. Your boss is never going to come up to you and say, hey, 7x minus 2 equals 33. What's x? There's going to be a situation that you have to either come up with the equation or come up with some way of solving it. So for example, let's say you buy 12 pounds of apples at $3 per pound. How much do you pay? Now, of course, looking at this, you have the 12 pounds and the $3. It's easy to pick out the numbers. The tough part is figuring out, what do I do with them? What math operation would apply here? Multiplying. 12 pounds times $3 a pound is $36. Let's say you can buy your math book for $230. Or you can pay $50 now and $40 a month for the next 5 months, for 5 months. How much does it save you to pay the whole amount now? Or it's how much more does it cost to finance the book? Well, here there's two things we're comparing, so let's figure them out. How much do you pay if you're going to pay cash? $230. That one's easy, right? How much do you pay if you're going to finance? Well, $50 up front plus $40 times 5, right? 40 times 5 is 200. 50 plus 200 is 250. Let's say you make a payment of $80 in May, $110 in June, and $90 in each July and August. How much did you pay? Too much? Depends on what you're paying for, right? How would we figure this out? Okay, we're going to add 80 plus 110 plus 90. Either 90 times 2 or 90 plus 90. Either way, it works out the same, right? Adds up to 370. Perfect. Let's say you pay $18 for spices that cost $6 per pound. How many pounds did you buy? What operation is this? Dividing. $18 divided by $6 gives us 3 pounds. Perfect. Now another way you could do, remember we talked about formulas? You know, it's the price per pound times the number of pounds equals the price is one of the formulas you have, our standard formula. So we could plug in the numbers there, that this is $6 per pound times our number of pounds, which is X, equals $18, and you could solve the equation. On the test, I won't make you write out the equation, so you can do it either way. If you can see that you can just divide, go ahead. Okay. Let's say that it takes 3 minutes to complete a math problem. How many problems can you finish in 33 minutes? Is that? Divide. Perfect. Take you 33 minutes. Divided by 3 minutes each gives you 11 problems. Let's say your repair person charges $90 for a service call and $60 per hour. How much does it cost? How much for a 3-hour call? Well, $90 plus $60 per hour times what? 3. So what do we do first? 60 times 3 is 180. 90 plus 180 is 270. If a rectangle has a perimeter of 38 feet, and the width is 6 feet, what is the length? So here is our rectangle. Remember, one of our strategies for problem solving is to draw pictures. This is the length and this is the width. We're actually told here that the width equals 6. What's our formula for perimeter? 2L plus 2W, right? 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Or L plus W plus L plus W works too. Do I know the perimeter? 38. Do I know L? No, that's what we're trying to find. So it's just 2L yet. Plus, do I know W? Yeah, it's 6 feet. So 2W becomes 2 times 6. Now what? We first do the 2 times 6. Good. So this becomes 12. So 38 equals 2L plus 12. And then subtract 12. So 26 equals 2L. And then divide by 2. The length is 13. The good news is, if all that makes sense, you are definitely ready for the test tomorrow. With the perimeter type problems. Let's do another one. See, if the perimeter of a rectangle is 46 and the length, it's not length, let's do width. So, and the width is 9. Find the length. So we got a rectangle, we got our width, and we've got our length. Do we know anything about the width or the length? Width is 9. Very good. So our formula of perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. Do we know any of the letters in the formula? Okay, we know the width is 9, so 2 times 9 instead of 2 times W. Any others? P is 46, so we put 46 in where the P is. Now there has to be one left to find, which is going to be the L. So that's just going to still be 2L there. Does that all make sense so far? Okay, so now what's the next thing we have to do? 2 times 9, which is 18. And then, yes, now we just got to solve the equation. We've combined everything we can, so we're going to subtract 18. So 28 equals 2L. And then we divide by 2. L is multiplied by 2, so we divide by 2 to get it alone. 28 divided by 2 is 14. So L equals 14. What do you think? Okay. What is it?
Oh, I think it was length of the rectangle is 7 more than the width.
Okay. That's a little bit more of a difficult problem. I toned it down a bit for the test.
Okay.
We will cover those problems more in a later unit. We'll get more complex again. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, there is quiz 3 that is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. It should have appeared at 8 o'clock this morning. And homework 4 that is due tomorrow in class. And I will be sending out the test to Richmond and Superior here in the next 45 minutes. So they will have it so that you can start early tomorrow if you need to. If you need private location or anything like that, if you're at Richmond or Superior, do what you can to arrange it. If you need help, let me know and I will contact someone. But generally, you just do that in the library. If you're alone in the room, you can just mute the mic and shut off the volume on the TV if you want to. The only thing is, for a private location, you have to be somewhere where you're being observed is all. I mean, you can use your notes and your books and everything on the test, so it's not like there's a lot you can do to cheat, but you do have to be somewhere. Since you're proctored into class, you have to be somewhere either in the library where there's somebody that can verify you were there doing it, or whatever. Here, of course, I can arrange that for you tomorrow when it comes. Or if you want to leave the room to the library, let me know, and we'll have to go down there and arrange a room for you. Remember in New Richmond that on Thursday there will be no power in the building, so you can either wait and view the recordings in the evening after class, or you can come to Rice Lake. Or you could go to the Superior if you really wanted to, but I'm guessing that's not a great option. Okay, we'll see you all for the test tomorrow.